So, if you have ever worked in a business office, particularly in some sort of corporate office, maybe a building that has multiple floors, or even if you think back to your days in elementary school and middle school, odds are you have been a part of a fire drill. And fire drills are when everybody practices going to the correct exit to leave the building in the case of an emergency. And usually in schools, you'll have teachers assuming the role of a fire warden. And in businesses and corporate offices, those are designated employees whose job it is to make sure that everybody else knows where the exits are and how to get there, and that everybody proceeds in an orderly fashion. So imagine that you are a fire warden and it is your job to make sure that everybody knows exactly where the exit is to leave the building in case of a fire. And you have been tasked with ensuring that everybody knows. Particularly, let's imagine there's one exit. You're in a building, let's say it's got 5 floors, 10 people on each floor, 20 people on each floor, 100 people in this building. But there's one way out. Now, there may be multiple doors, that look like they would exit the building, but let's say that there's only one door that actually leads to safety. The other doors maybe lead to an inner courtyard. So yes, you've exited the building, but you're not actually all the way to safety. You would still be trapped. Let's say another door, automatically locks in case of fire. And really, there's only one door out. And your job is to make sure everybody knows where that one door is. Everybody on all 5 floors, they know which staircase to take. They know not to take the elevator. They know to go out that one door if there's a fire so that they will be safe and they will be spared from the flames. Now imagine that you didn't do your job and there really is a fire. And you told people, you made sure your friends knew, and maybe y'all had like a fire drill a year ago and everybody spent most of the time chatting and socializing and, kind of okay as a group. Yeah, but you all ended up outside, but you actually ended up in the inner courtyard because it was just a drill. And there were snacks. And so imagine there really is a fire and it was your job to make sure that all 100 people in that building knew exactly which door to go out. And you're standing outside because you knew which door to go out. And you're standing outside on the street and you're watching the building burn. And you're hearing people scream and you're seeing people in windows and you only see 2 or 3 people, 4 people come out of the building, out the correct exit. And then you can kind of hear people who are like in the back courtyard and then they can't get back through the building because now the building's burning and they didn't know which exit to go out. And they thought they did. And some people are hiding in closets because they thought that that was a door to the exit, but they weren't really paying attention during the drills. And they weren't there the day that everybody went through all the protocols and everything. And you didn't do your job to make sure that whether somebody was always at the office on the day of the fire drills, whether they had gotten it in their new employee handbook, whether they had bothered to watch the video during new employee training, you didn't do your job to make sure that every single person knew exactly where to go and what exit to go out to make sure that they would be safe in case of fire. And now you are standing on the street and you know that there are 96 other people in that building who aren't making it out, and it's on you. I am a fire warden, and there is one way out. And this is not a drill. There is no more time. We all like to think that life will continue as usual and we get to go to weddings and birthdays and happy hour and everything is fine. But one day, very, very, very soon, it's not going to be fine. And let's just take that off the table. Let's take all the prognostication off the table. Humankind has a 100% mortality rate. You will die. You will die. Nobody likes to think about it. We suddenly become cognizant of our own mortality if we're struggling with a terminal illness, if we have cancer, or if a loved one does. And we start to ponder, I wonder what's after this. There is an after this. Humankind has a 100% mortality rate, but our spirits are immortal. We are created for immortality. The question is, where are you going to spend eternity? And you can balk all you want if you don't believe in God. That's okay. God believes in you. And we are body, soul, and spirit. Each of us is a triune being made of body, soul, and spirit. Our soul is our mind, will, and emotions. And our spirit lives eternally. And so when your body is dead and done, your spirit will live on. And there is one door to safety. There's one door. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Going to the Father means being in his eternal kingdom. It means being in heaven in right relationship with our Creator, with the very one who knit you together in your mother's womb, the very one who conceived you before your parents even existed, the one who made you and earth and all creation. And if you don't believe in him, I ask you to just look at all creation and how you could possibly deny the existence of a creator. I really hope you don't deny the existence of a creator, because either way, you've been created, you were created for a purpose, and he's calling you, and there is one way out. You will die. You don't get a choice in that. You will die. And the question is, where do you go? There is one door. And my job is to make sure you know where that door is. And that door is you saying, there is nothing that I can do in my strength, in my will, in my desire to make sure that I go to heaven. There is nothing. Nobody is righteous enough. The Jewish tradition has 613 commandments. Moses presented 10 commandments. Jesus gave us 2 commandments. Love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And we have a hard enough time with those too. There's nothing we can do in our flesh, in our will, in our own strength, in our mind to get us to heaven. But Jesus can. And all you have to do is say, I want to be there. I want to be there. I don't want to burn in eternity. I don't want to spend eternity absent from the Father. That is hell. Hell is spending eternity in a void that is completely devoid of love and devoid of light. It is in the absence of the Father, unplugged from our Creator. And Jesus said, I want you with me. I want you with me forever and ever and ever. And you will live forever and ever and ever, and you have a choice. And so if you are just willing to say, Jesus, I believe that you came. God sent you his only Son as an atonement for my sins, my shortcomings, all my failures. It doesn't matter how big or small those failures are. Those failures could be the one time you cheated on a test in the 4th grade. Those failures could be your addiction to drugs or pornography or sex or shopping. Those failures could be your temper, your coarse language, I could list a myriad things, but nobody is righteous enough to get to heaven by themselves. And Jesus said, I'll take you there. And so if you say, I want to go, and I believe that you, Jesus, came to atone for my sins. You came and went to the cross in my place for the things that I have done, past, present, future, all of it. You took the punishment on my behalf. And then you died and were buried, and you rose again, and you are alive, and you are coming back to get me. I believe that. If you confess that with your mouth and believe that in your heart, then you are going to go through the right door. And if you don't, and if you roll your eyes at this, and if you hit stop, and if you bow out of YouTube, you're not going to go through the door. And I am a fire warden, and I don't want to be in safety watching others not make it out. And the time is running out. You can't put this off until tomorrow. You can't put this off until next Tuesday. I promise you. There's no time left. But even imagine if you have 30 years left, 40 years left, why would you not want to experience the fullness, the joy, the peace, the love that God promised for all eternity, eternity starting now. Just because Jesus said, I came to give you life and life abundantly, doesn't mean that that starts after death. He came to give us life and life abundantly as soon as you accept him as your Lord and Savior. And that can start now. And so this is not a drill. There's one way out. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. Go to the Father. When your time comes, and it's coming very soon, go to the Father. Don't think that you can figure it out. Don't think that there will be a plan B. There's one way. Don't be offended that there's one way. Don't think all religions are equal. Don't preach tolerance. There's one way. It would be nice if every door in the building, if the door to the supply closet and the elevator and the stairway, if they all went outside in case of a fire. They don't. And you might end up in the elevator or the supply closet or the stairway thinking, but I thought that was the door. There's one door. My job is to show you which one. I really hope that you'll take that one. You can do it right now. Just say, Jesus, I want to follow you to safety. I believe in you. I believe that you bore the punishment for my sinfulness, for everything I've ever done that fell short of your complete and total perfect righteousness. I believe you took it all, and you took it on the cross, and it was buried with you. And when you rose again and went to the Father, you created a pathway for me to follow you. I want to follow you, Jesus. Please accept me into your kingdom. I look forward to seeing you there. God bless.